Hello, hello. Welcome to Team Rise and Fit call for October 18th, 2018. Good to see you all. So glad that you're here. Hopefully moving this call to Thursday nights has been helpful in your schedules and kind of breaking up all the nights of Zooming. And tonight we want to we've been chit-chatting for a little bit here and getting connected, because I feel like that's something that our team craves, is being connected and bringing together. And that's one of the beautiful things about the team, is that we have this friendship and this community that supports us no matter what's going on, whether it's medical things or job things or new babies coming or babies, making you super tired and the queen of chaos. How is your chaos coordinator? That's your title. Or you've got what else ever is going on in your life. We are here to support you and here to help you out. So tonight I want to just go through 10 points of leadership that was shared by Robbie Carter. He's our new corporate person for the Central region. He used to be kind of just over Texas. And now he's got the entire Central region as Sydney has moved over to the West. And I really like Robbie. He's been really good. I had a one-on-one with him recently as well. And he would like to invite any leaders that we have on the call on our team to meet with him as well. Maybe we'll have him on a Zoom, on one of our Thursday night Zooms. And he can talk about what we can do as a team to hit some team goals, and definitely advance all of your businesses in the near future, or in the future as we get moving through here. So tomorrow is Friday. I keep thinking tomorrow's Saturday, but tomorrow's Friday. Saturday, though, in Des Moines is a Super Saturday for Iowa. There's a couple sprinkled all over, but we're really trying to get a big one going in Des Moines for corporate stuff. I think there are 30-ish, I have to count again, 30-ish people that have bought tickets so far. So still not as big as what we've done in the past, but hopefully we get some more coming in. I know it's only Thursday, so I'm sure there'll be more tickets being sold, and we'll be having a bigger event down there. I said it before, if we don't get past 50, I'm coming back to Vinton. And maybe I still will if this doesn't go very well. I am planning the entire thing myself. I'm not leaving anything to chance. I have delegated a few things, but I'm also planning them myself, because just past practice of working with this group, I just don't trust it. So I'm planning it all, and I'm taking it all down there. We are not doing a team retreat anymore. I got out of the house. We won't go there, but we'll maybe do lunch afterwards and come home. Although I need a place to go in the evening, because now my husband has a card party at our house that he scheduled the guys, and apparently I'm not supposed to come home. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just come really late and sneak upstairs and work. I don't know. But so yeah. So that's what's happening in the Meyer house. All right, 10 points of leadership. Let's just get rock and roll with that. And the last day to qualify for the Diamond Retreat is October 25th. The last day to qualify for anything for the end of the year. So if you're pushing for Premier, or if you're pushing for Elite, or you're pushing for anything, any of your qualifications for the end of the year, that date is November 21st. So that's kind of our last ditch effort date. Just kind of like last year, it was November 23rd when we locked in 2 diamonds. November 21st is our deadline this year, I believe. I believe that was posted somewhere. Yeah, 21st is a Wednesday, so you have to wake up on the 22nd as that diamond. Okay, so I know, Kara, you are really close to 2-star, like close, and it could totally happen. And I'm really rooting for you, for sure. Okay. All right. So I know there's lots of other people that have big goals that want to achieve certain things before the end of the year, and to hold your 6 weeks to make it official in 2018, you need to have it ready to locked and loaded by the 22nd of November. 21st is kind of the last day. So, okay, let's get rolling with 10 points of leadership, and then I will we'll just do a power hour or work on some, or we can do Q&A afterwards. Totally up to you guys what you want to do, since it's 20 after already. All right, so number one, you guys, I'll just kind of like list off the 10, and maybe if you like just leave like 2 or 3 lines in between each point, then we'll go back and kind of fill them in, okay? So number one is generate power. Generate power is number one. Number 2 is language, attitude, and enthusiasm. Language, attitude, and enthusiasm. Number 3 is leadership is not a position, it's influence. Leadership is not a position, it's influence. Number 4 is be trusted. Be trusted. I kind of feel like I'm giving a spelling test. Number 5 is be rooted. Number 6 is do the work. Number 7 is take responsibility. 8 is elevate yourself on the team page. Number 9 is be one step ahead. And number 10 is have a mission or a vision as a team. So now you kind of have the 10 little points here. I'll go back and kind of highlight some things with them. But those are the 10 traits of leadership. And he got these from a book that I'll look up to see what book it was. I didn't write that down, but there are 10 traits of leadership that he got out of it. And I'll just kind of 10 minutes here. I'll just kind of review them and kind of go over the little high points of them. But one of the reasons why he brought this and talked to our group about this of leaders 5 to 8 stars in the Central region was a quote that really stuck out to him from Carl from the leadership event here at the beginning of October. Carl said, "Good intentions are not decisions. You can say what you want, but you have to actually do it to make it happen." And so that was like his big takeaway from Carl. Like Carl had this like really awesome leadership thing at the end, and maybe I'll do that in a future call. But he had kind of we told you did I tell you about the meltdown of the speaker that we had? We had a speaker that was lined up. We had this like whole survey and thing, like how like you're going to go to a conference, like you kind of do some prep work. So you have the stuff to do when you're there. So we had this big survey thing that we had to do. And then we got there for Elite Day, and he was the keynote for Elite Day, and he was awful, like bad, awful. Like Christina Delgado was sitting next to me and got up twice to leave. In the middle of it, like to go fill her coffee. And the second time she came back with coffee, it was like a Starbucks coffee cup. So I was like, you legit went 2 floors down to get that and came back here. Like you didn't go to the back of the room, like, so, and he was just bad. Like he has some good points, but it was so off the wall, kind of crazy. So he got done, and within 20 minutes of him finishing his little spiel and us going to lunch, we found out that he'd been fired. So then we're like, okay, so who's going to fill in on Saturday? Because he was supposed to speak to us as a lead and then speak to the whole leadership group on Saturday. So they did an amazing job of filling in. Part of it was Carl. He spoke a little bit longer, kind of put some more things together. They got Annie, which is Annie Neiman, which is Michael Neiman's niece. She came, and she's I don't know what her title is. It's kind of like a psychoanalysis of like, she's really working on like the happiness thing. So she kind of like blended a little bit of like happiness advantage and like social theory and social media and like put that together. So that's kind of cool. It was good. And then they did an amazing job of bringing in Kendra Hall. And you guys have heard a lot about Kendra already in different team calls and like storytelling. So they did an amazing job filling the time, way better than this guy was earlier. But it was just kind of like, it was one of those amazing points of leadership in that, you know, he said good intentions are not decisions. You can say what you want, but you have to like show up and do it. Like he was kind of talking about this guy that like said he was going to be doing all these things with us and then like showed up and like obviously didn't deliver. And so our corporate people like Jeff and Michael and those guys, Sandy and the rest of them, they put their heads together and they figured out and got it taken care of in 48 hours because they were going to deliver to the people that earned the spot to sit at those tables. So that was kind of where it got all, that's a little back history. Anywho, 10 points of leadership. Generating power, okay? Coming back to this focus. So now I know a little dib there. Generating power. The power plant does not have energy. It generates it. So to say that the light bulb just turns on isn't a thing. Like it actually has to plug into something to get power. Then the power plant doesn't have energy. It generates it. So consistency on your page, in the team page, that's huge in generating power. Not only showing up on your own social media, you know, like if you post once a week or you post for like 5, 7, 8 days in a row and then you don't show up for 3 or 4 days, like you're losing a lot of your power. You know, when a hamster spins on his wheel and it keeps the momentum going, as soon as he slows down, it gets harder. You know, like when you think about a runner, like as soon as you stop for that first time, it's so hard to get back going, right? So your consistency in yourself, in your own actions, in your posting, in your social media, showing up on the team page, just because you were awesome yesterday doesn't mean that it's going to be awesome today. And you have to be innovative and you have to try to switch things up to make things new and fun, but keep sharing your story. He says, you generate your own power, generate your own energy by continuing to move forward and continuing to do things. So the second point was language, attitude, and enthusiasm. And it's critical that we pay attention to our language, being confident in who we are, being confident in ourselves. Our attitude needs to support our confidence. And oftentimes they will always support each other. So whether we like it or not, if you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself, your attitude's going to suck. And I've been a great example of that this last week. So I can tell you firsthand that if you're out of your element in your confidence or your attitude and those kinds, they all mirror each other. So the key to changing any of that and all of that is you. You know, we've heard it a million times before. We know it. If you don't like what you're seeing about something, do something about it. Take action. I've taken a crap ton of action in the last couple of days and done different things to get myself out of the funk, and it's working. And so I'm the only one that's holding myself back in this situation, and you're the only one holding yourself back in the situation. So talk about people, talk to people about what you're doing, really get connected with people, get into personal development, figure out what it is that brings you joy, and do that before you do the vital behavior that you're needing to do. Really, enthusiasm and action are the catalyst for your business. If you're showing up with low energy at that computer screen, if you're showing up with low energy on that video, if you're showing up with low energy in your stories, people are going to be like, okay, see you later. But if you can show up with enthusiasm and know that what you have is the best thing ever and being super excited about it, that's when people want to join you, and they want to join someone positive. They want to look at someone that they want to join someone that's consistent. They want to be with someone that is clear that they are a coach and that they're going to help people get through things. So, being really action-oriented and enthusiastic about what they're doing. And then he says, do they know that there's an opportunity for them to join? Like, you post about your workouts, you post about your shake, you post about some of these different things, you post about life, but like, do people know that they can join you? Do you have a clear call to action in your stories once a day? Do you have a clear call to action on your posts all the time? Do you have, do they know that there's something there for them to join? The third one was leadership is a position, is not a position, it's an influence. And we talk about this a lot. Like I often say that, you just need to be one step ahead of someone in order to lead. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have, everything figured out. Leadership is lifting others with you. And what does that mean? It means it's having a monthly calendar. It means it's having an idea of what you're already doing, and not necessarily having all the answers, but having a direction at least. Maybe it's, creating, if you're a leader of a team, maybe you're creating daily post prompts for new coaches. Maybe you're running challenge groups with your newbies. Maybe you are, teaming up with other people to figure it out, and you're going to YouTube to figure things out, or plugging into the team page to figure things out, connecting with your upline, but understanding that your coaches are human beings and that your coaches are facing battles that we can't see. And we're connected. We know what's happening in each other's lives. And if we don't know each other's happening, we need to open up and talk to each other. But leadership is not a position, it's an influence. And so you're a leader at every point in your journey, whether you're just starting or you've been in it for a while. So, getting wins early and recognizing the people that are getting wins is huge. When your coaches hit Success Club, when your challengers lose weight, when they've checked in every day for 5-6 days, or they've just, whatever wins and celebrations you can do that. And if they're comfortable with, public recognition, go do that. If they're not public or comfortable with that, then, do something privately, or make sure you're recognizing them. If you view leadership as a position and you kind of put yourself up here, separating yourself from people, it's never going to work out in your favor. But when you're more of an influencer, just like we're social media influencers, helping people and influencing them to do things, then you're going to be able to have a lot more success and be able to do greater things because you're connected to your people. So number 4 was be trusted. Integrity is everything. Never ask your coaches or your challengers or the people that are with you to ever do things that you're not willing to do yourself. So if you're saying, go push play on max 30, I'm going to go hang out here with Mes Demas. Or if you're going to say, you need to eat clean 100% of the time, I'm going to sit over here and eat a candy bar every night or ice cream. Make sure that or go hit Success Club and then not doing it yourself, or go recruit coaches and then not doing it yourself. You're really making sure, even in the tough months, that you're showing up and that you're never ghosting your upline or your personal pages or your downline or your challenge groups, making sure you're showing up all the time. And that doesn't need to be in a massive way constantly, but at least, never, not only all the balls drop, I guess is really saying, when I listened to TD Jakes a couple of years ago, I can't remember if this is when you were at CARE or not, but he was talking about how he's always juggling all the roles in his life. And I was thinking about Trina Gray too. So this kind of a meld of lots of PD opportunities. But Trina Gray talks about your 6 roles in life, right? And we have all these different hats that we wear and these different things we do. And TD Jakes was talking about how you juggle all these roles in your life all the time. He's like, and it's not that because you're a fantastic juggler that you have everything up in the air. Some of them are going to hit the floor. But the key is making sure it's not the same one all the time. So maybe you have, spouse and family and job and coaching and all these different things that are flying up in the air, and you've got them all going. And sometimes, spouse hits the floor, but you got to pick that one back up and make sure spouse doesn't hit the floor again. Maybe it's something else that hits the floor. But the more they are the repeated ones that are dropping off, then that's when trust breaks down. That's when resentment starts to set in. That's when just life doesn't get very much fun, and tough times happen because we're unbalanced in things, and we're not perfect people. We're never going to be able to do everything for everybody, but making sure that you can be trusted in knowing that you're going to do what you're going to do, and that you're not putting excuses up front to say, and putting other things as major priorities over all areas of your life. So making sure you can be consistent and be trusted. Number 5 was be rooted. Teach yourself and your team and your challengers and to be eventually your team, to dive deep with your Beachbody roots. Don't be weak trees that fall over when the headwinds come, when the turbulence comes. Build to a strong diamond situation where you're going to kind of be solid and be rooted. It's important that we're a strong diamond ourselves, and then we build our teams to be that way as well. Getting to be that 500 PV type coaches, where you're generating 500 PV yourself, which would be a lot of product you're buying yourself, or that you're getting customers underneath of you that are building up to that 500 PV. When you can build 500 PV people, at least 500 PV people, that's when you are really building a solid foundation, where I kind of think of it as like, like the three little pigs that had, sticks, straw, and stone. Like the 90 PV coach is kind of like the sticks or the straw, like it's kind of loose and kind of like, I could probably maybe put my Shakeology off kind of thing. The sticks was the second one. I think it's a little bit firmer. Maybe they've gotten a couple more things. Maybe they're up to like, maybe they've helped one person, a couple people. They're maybe like that 200 PV coach, but like one return really wipes them out, or like they're kind of in it, kind of not in it. And like that 500 PV coach is really that solid foundation where things aren't going to shake it very much. Even if they get a return or something else happens, they're helping in a lot more ways than just having 500 PV. Like that stuff counts towards elite. That stuff counts towards leadership ladder. That helps in a lot of areas. And so really teaching your team and yourself to really like build that solid foundation, and really finding people that are going to stick it in with the long haul is really what helps a lot of things. Definitely having a longevity mindset, committing to be here 3 years from now, committing to be here 5 years from now. Like, what is it going to look like? Not just next year, but the year after that and the year after that, having a vision for those kinds of things, and being rooted and being clear with your decisions, persevering no matter what, not putting a negative spin on things. So like don't be talking like, I don't like the Success Club prize this month, so I'm not going to hit it. Or I don't like the new program that's coming out, so I'm not going to do it. Or I'm not making whatever money that you want right now. Like, those kinds of attitudes really just suck the joy and the fun out of everything. And we know your positivity and your attitude and your enthusiasm all align. So making sure that you're at least finding the positive things that they're rooting your business in. And then kind of the big takeaway of this one is just being proactive, not reactive, and and really be thinking about what you're going to be facing in the month to have a plan for, and what your coaches might be facing to kind of have a plan for too. Like, we kind of traditionally know that August is going to be harder. And so planning and being proactive for when you bring new coaches on, or you start a new challenge group to be more successful, those kinds of things. Number 6 is do the work. Action is key. Anytime that, I know that I've ever felt like inadequate or stressed, overwhelmed, or fearful, or all those kinds of things, like not taking action is the thing that I want to do. It kind of just paralyzes me, but also knowing that it's the thing that's going to get me out of where I am. Like, I can sit under that rain cloud all day long and just sit there, or I can take action and get out from underneath of it. So, I don't know if you saw them or listened to them yet, but I've dropped 2 audios into the Elite Bound Babes group today. I could drop in the regular team page too if you're not in there. But one of them is a team or a national wake-up call from, she's Amber Scott there, but like now she's Amber Snow. You've heard her on the national wake-up call recently as well. But this was from like 2014 or 2015. And it was like 6 ways to get out of 6 ways to hit Success Club at the end of the month. So I listened to that national makeup call that was recommended by Ashley Mahaffney. I went and did the first 3 steps right away, and I just took action. I started doing things, and I started to feel a lot better about what I was doing. And I was talking about that a little bit before everyone kind of got on here, but I can share more about that in a bit. But just taking action and helping people and understanding that putting your wins into things that are measurable, putting your wins into things that are valuable, and not just points or not just the final metrics, but your wins along the way as well. So for me, a lot of my joy was being taken away because I was only putting wins in numbers and not in actual like hey, one of my challengers had a fantastic week and has checked in every single day. Or, I've helped a couple different coaches do some different things this week. And those are things that need to be wins as well, and not just in number situation. But clarity also comes when you take action, and you get to be a lot more clear on what it is that you actually want out of it when you're doing action items. Let's skip some of this stuff. Number 7 is take responsibility. Not pointing fingers or blaming others of where you're at. This isn't a blame game situation. Nobody owes you anything. You are the one you are the CEO of your business. And if things aren't happening the way you want them to, you need to make the changes yourself. 99% of the time, there is something that we could have done differently if we look at ourselves and look at what our actions are and how we're handling the situation, how we're responding to the situation, how are you, thinking about how you're a leader, or are you a follower? Are you making plans, or are you waiting for plans to be given to you? Are you taking responsibility for your business, or are you waiting for someone else to are you being more of that reactive coach? Some of the things I wrote down. Making Success Club a non-negotiable, having a goal, having a kind of a 12-week year mentality. We read that book together. So that was good that he brought that up. Thinking of those through. So if you go back to those plans, several of you on the team made plans with that book. I still get the Brian Moran emails that, have like little tidbits in them and try to, grow and do something different with that. So kind of keeping going with that idea. Number 8 is elevate yourself on your team page. And that is in your hub, basically. So, show that you're working hard, comment on team member stuff, answer questions in the team page, add value to your current team page and your upline's team page, and keep leading and training and doing different things. So, if you're a leader on Rise and Fit, that's also really plugging into Happy and Fit as well. Like, you guys get on the Monday and Tuesday calls. You're in those team pages, sharing value and adding to those things. One of the requirements for going to the Diamond Retreat for Team Rockstar Fit is that you're contributing to the Diamond page. Misty shared an excellent post today in there, and she was like, I don't know what to talk about. It was like, you have so much to give. So she made an awesome post, and Trina noticed it right away and made comments. And you had lots of comments on it today. So, elevate yourself in your team page. You are all here for a reason, and none of us are better than anybody else. We're all here. We all pay $50.95 to be a coach, and we're all worthy of everything that's available to us here on our team and in this business. And you're working hard. You should talk about it, and share with what you're doing, even if you think that it's not anything. Like, I've heard that from a lot of you, like, oh, I don't have anything to share. I don't have anything to give. Like, yeah, you do. You're here. You're showing up consistently. You're having success. So you just talk about that. It's sometimes the way you word it, sometimes the way you're doing it could be slightly different the way that someone else is doing it. And there's, like I said, at Team Rockstar Fit Day, like, there's a million ways to skin a cat. So, maybe your way is just a little bit different, and someone else could learn from it. Number 9 was being one step ahead, anticipating the needs of your coaches before they're actually going to need it, not thinking small and creating things and being able to create things for your team before your team kind of needs them, is kind of a leveled up leader, someone that's going to really think through what's coming up. And this could be for your challengers if you don't have a big team yet, or this can be for your coaches that are on your team, but really anticipating things that they're going to need and kind of work through. So, like when we get ready for Team Cup, or we have a big challenge group that's coming up, like knowing, like we have this big launch coming for Transform 20 or even Shift Shop, when we did Lift 4, I created the big group, everyone kind of put their people into it, and I just took action and did those things. Like, just being one step ahead of something like that. You can easily do that with your team. I know Kara's doing an amazing job with her team, is really going to launch a Shift Shop group together. And so they're being proactive and doing things one step ahead of how they can bring their new coaches in and say, just invite to this. I think it's always been modeled. Julianne has always done an excellent job of, showing the steps along the way. She creates the shell and says, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. Okay, now go do. And then they all have a place that they feel comfortable inviting to. And then the challenge groups kind of just go and run. So number 10 is have a mission or a vision as a team. And so people want to join a leader that knows where she's going. So what's your aim? What do you want to accomplish? Where are you going? What is it that you want to do out of this in this business or anything else? And when you can really focus on what your mission is and what your vision is of where you're going, you'll be able to not only focus in on that and like keep your eye on the prize kind of thing, but also people have a little more clarity of what it is that you want out of it, what the expectations are of things, and it can keep going towards the goal if that's the place they want to go, or do something else if that's not where they want to go. But there's really nothing more frustrating than kind of standing around and just being like, I don't know what's happening. All right, well, what are we gonna do? Like that's frustrating for everyone. So if there's a plan and there's an action and we know that, hey, this is where we're going, then we can all continue to work to get to that point. So, one of the things that I want to do at some point when we have a lot of us here, and we don't have time for it tonight, but is really focusing in. I've been reading the book I always get it wrong, 4 Disciplines of Execution, by Chris McChesney and Sean Covey, and which is related to Stephen Covey. But it's really good, and it's got some steps that I'm kind of working through on how to work as a team on different things. So at some point, I'd like to it shouldn't be a Kim mission and vision. It should be more of like, where does Rise and Fit want to go? And having that kind of getting wildly focused on the main thing, making the main thing the main thing. And we can all come together on that. So eventually, at some point, when I get a little more of my ducks in a row, we'll kind of go through that. I've got lots of notes on it I've been taking. So thoughts on the 10 points of leadership? I talked a lot. I don't like talking a lot. It's good to see all your faces on here. Be honest. Good? Okay. I really wanted to bring, there's lots of comments. I really wanted to bring stuff from Trina today, and she is traveling in Utah. So I didn't get any Trina time today. But I really like this from Robbie the other day. So if you've not had a chance, go ahead and listen to that Amber Snow National Wake Up Call. It's not very long. I think you skipped ahead to like 9.5 minutes if you want to get past the whole like Darren Ashby thing. Although it's interesting to listen to it because it's from 2014 and probably nobody, I don't know. And then at the end, I kind of cut Jeff off a little bit at the end, but she had really good content in there. So one of her things was, and maybe this is our action hour time now since we've got 10 minutes left, just kind of going through these points. Yeah. So what do you guys want to do? Yeah, roundtable tonight, seeing what's going well in people's businesses. We can do that. Okay. Who wants to go first? What's something you're proud of in your business right now? Bridget, are you in a patient room? Did you just like bail out and like, oh, okay. Maybe you don't get to share because you're not supposed to be talking. Okay. Who's got something they're proud of in their business?
I can go. So what's going really well for me right now is really just taking time to deepen relationships with my challengers. I'm getting some responses back from my invites, and I don't know, they're not going at the rapid pace that they're used to. Like people are kind of like stalling out. So I'm kind of switching my mindset of, instead of it being about people not getting back to me, I am taking control of what I can And that's really like sinking more of my time and effort into the people that are showing up in the Confidence Project. I've been very I've been very transparent with them of why I want them part of my team and what Team Fit and Fearless is about. And it's been successful. I think we're adding like two coaches for sure. The third one I think is signing up this week. But something I'm really proud of is my team at Veridian, my credit union, like my team that I manage. Like more and more people are coming back to Shakeology because they're realizing that like what their life was with it and what their life was without it, and the fact that they can make it work in their budget. So I have to be really careful about my influence about that. So I don't talk about it at all. I just show up, I have my shake, whatever. And, um, it took time, but people are coming around. So
awesome. Yeah, it's a touchy area. And I was even thinking about it tonight when I was walking past the school. I was like, conferences are coming up. Maybe everyone gets a beach bar. I was like, that's kind of expensive. And it's like, well, maybe if I put them like, like band, maybe you guys don't know this, but like in lounges at schools, like if the band is selling those like chocolate bars for like $1 or whatever, like they'll just put the box in the lounge and say, drop your dollar in this bag or whatever. They're teachers, they're not going to steal them. But like, I thought about just putting a box of beach bars in there and being like $2 for a bar. I was like, if you want your own, like you could even put like your own little like, shortened URL of like, you want to get your own, go to this link, like those are the things that were flying through my head on my walk today. I don't know if I've got the guts to do it here yet. I guess I'd have to talk to like the principals about it, but I don't know.
I think that's a great idea. I think you should totally do that, because I would totally do that. I would take a box and I'd put a note on it and be like, hey, because we have a whole snack like section. Like there is a teacher who literally goes to Sam's Club and buys all this crap, and she stocks the cupboards with it and just says, this is the prices, leave it in the little like bank bag or whatever. It's kind of that trust thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, wouldn't rather have a beach bar. Like I could put boxes of beach bars in there and say, if you want this, like pay me, $1.50 or whatever a bar. And
I don't even know what the bars are. Like what I was going to look that up tonight, but totally doable, right?
Yeah, so doable.
So that's an idea. Find your break room, stick a box of bars in it, and say, "Here's the money." But $2, I believe. Yeah, get $2 a bar, and maybe you get other orders out of it. I don't know. I'm doing a care package for my teachers for conferences this next week, and it's going to include pumpkin Shakeology, beach bars, and Energize. So get you through the nights with it. So yeah, we last year for Christmas we did oven mitts that I found like on Etsy that had like some cute saying on it or whatever, and then I put all the ingredients for some cookies and things like that, just some Shako and stuff in it. All right. Yes. Okay, who else has got something good going? Jill, Misty, Jess, Candace. Candace, you shared your things. You have a new success partner, and you're invited 5 people today. That's good. She's also frozen. Or is she just sitting really still? She's frozen. Okay. I was like, did she fall asleep? There she is. Oops. That was funny. All right, so you got your good thing going there. Who else wants to share quick? You have something you're proud of in your business. Jess, is that I'll go, or are you pointing at someone? Go, Jill. I'm unmuting you, Jill. What do you got going on?
I would say just the community that we have in our group is just on fire. I mean, I have a lot of challengers that are answering questions like crazy, and just showing up, like, I just make it a point to check in at least twice a day, midday, to comment on everybody's post, and it's not just like woohoo, way to go. It's like heartfelt, like way to show up, and then I go right before bed because there's a lot of people that work out at nighttime as well. And then I would say another thing is that right now, all of my coaches, I think there's 2 right now that are inactive, but I think they're waiting on their shipments. But otherwise, everybody's active.
Yay! So Jill,
Yeah.
how do you, the big question is, how do you make sure everyone's active?
So I think, honestly, and I was telling Jess this too, is that when people sign up, like, I just put it black and white. Like, this is what's expected of you, like 50 TV is what you need to stay active. And just, putting that in the forefront of their minds, like, if this isn't something you can do consistently, you can always stay as a challenger, and giving them that option. But a lot of them, they want to show up, they're just, they're in it. So, and I think a lot of that just comes down to the feel in our group. I don't know. That's all I can honestly say. I have no idea. Like, I don't think it's anything golden that I'm saying to them. I think it's just giving them all of the information before they sign up and saying this is what and
Yep. And so I think the
Go
golden
ahead.
step that you just said was I set the expectations. They knew exactly what was expected of them. So that was going back to like that 10th point of like your mission and your vision. Like, people know where you're going. People know what's expected of them. People know what they need to be doing in order to get where they want to go. And so you set the expectation with them that if you're going to do this, you need to stay consistent. If you need to do this, you need to stay at 50 PB at least. And then, so that's planted for them that's what they need to do. And you give them the out. You say, if you don't think you can be consistent with this, then just stay a challenger. But like, you're moving forward with it. So, I've definitely, that's my weak area, my Achilles heel, is that I haven't set good enough expectations with the people in my second CBC. I have 18 coaches in my second CBC, and I have no emeralds. All of them are discount coaches, and they have zero desire to be anything else because I did a really, really crappy job of setting expectations with them. So I am now going back. One of the other things I talked about with Robbie on my individual call was how to re-engage these people and set different expectations for them. And so Jess has kind of alluded to it in the comments here, but like one of the things that, and I heard this on a podcast, and then I'm also putting together with what he is saying, but like really kind of owning up to the situation and saying, you know what, I have failed you. I've done a crappy job for you as my coach, and grow a pair, talk to them about it, right? This is bad timing. You need to own up and say, like, and put it on yourself. I've been a crappy coach. I've not helped you with being consistent, and consistency is what gets results. And so I want to make sure that you're going to get results of this. Will you give me a second chance? Can we work on this together? When you got signed up, we were going to get you results, and consistency is what does that. Consistency with your orders means that you're going to be consistent with your actions. And so kind of just going back and owning that. Like the whole podcast I listened to was about, as a parenting podcast with not Dave Ramsey, what's his name? The 5 love languages guy. Anywho, he was talking about like taking technology away from their kids. And they said, if you just like went up to a teenager who has their phone with them 12 hours a day and said, you need to stop being on your phone all the time, I'm taking it away, like this is just how it's going to be, they'd be like, wow. no way. And they'd flip out. But if you like went to that kid and said, you know what, I screwed up as a parent. This really is not good for you. I know I've let you do things in the past, but we're going to have to make a change because this isn't healthy for you. And I'm the responsible adult here. So now we're going to start making some changes. It's going to be a little, like they're still going to be dramatic because they're teenagers, but it's going to be way less dramatic, right? So same thing applies for your coaches or your discount coaches or your challengers. You know, like you were like, hey, you just get in for the discount. And now you're like, dude, I need you to be an emerald. And instead of saying like, hey, I need you to start talking to people and asking all your friends and family to be part of this and like all these things. Like now you have to be on Shakeology all the time. Like they're going to be like, dude, I didn't sign up for this. But if you can come in and really of a caring mindset and really what you do want them to get results and be successful in this, and coming at that way, it's going to get you a lot more results, and it's good get them results too. So grow a pair and talk to people. Did I wrap that up well? So I haven't even read all of Jess's comments. I just read Bridget's grow a pair. Yeah. And that's the ultimate goal for all of us. They sign up for results. Exactly. Yeah. You want them to get results. And so we know all of these programs will get you results. You just have to do them, right? So I made a list of all 18 coaches in my my second CBC in one of these notebooks. And I have texted all of them. I texted all of them with a message that said, I would love to set a time up with you in the next couple days to have a conversation on the phone or in a Zoom call and talk about how we can get you results. I have failed you kind of thing. And I've had conversations with 4 of them already on the phone and talking about what we're going to do to get them going again and who they're going to talk to to bring alongside them. So I had an amazing conversation with Bethany today, Beth Smith, and she's going to talk to her really good friend and her mom and try to get them signed up. So I was like, all right, perfect. But that would have never happened if I would just continued to send emails, because that's what I've always been doing. It's just sending them an email, and maybe they're not even getting them. I don't know. Do you guys get my emails? Okay. Like, is anyone getting them? I don't know. But nobody responds. One-on-one has been great. So the other thing that he said, and I was telling Bridget this right before everyone else popped on, was that when someone comes back from an invite and says, yes, I'm interested in more information, you say, great, here's my phone number, or here's a Zoom link. When can we chit chat? Like, and talk to them versus doing messaging back and forth, or sending them a canned response, or sending them a video, or dropping them in a group, a sneak peek group. He's like, talk to them. I was like, all right. So those are my big challenges that I have to do between now and the next time I meet with him. Who else?
Well, I'll go actually to
Yeah.
follow that whole expectation thing, because, and Kim, you and I've already talked about this, and Misty and I already know this because we're doing it together, but I'm sure many of you saw my post that I dropped 450 F-bombs like a week or so ago.
Look at everyone. They're like, oh yeah, we saw that.
Right? But I got a lot of response on that. And I think it was because everybody knew that I wasn't fluff. It wasn't fluff. They knew that I was being serious. And it really got me to thinking that, like, I think that I've been too fluffy. I've been too soft. And so then Misty and I are actually going to be running a group that have actually titled it No BS Boot Camp. She went for it, Kim. She's all good. She's good for it.
She was like, she will never use that. She doesn't swear. I was like, it's BS. It's just actually the word.
But we're going to lay it out there. We're going to keep our main group going, but at the same time, we're going to do a challenge group, challenge tracker app, which we don't do, but it's not a bad thing. I know, and she hopped off now, but that's where Bridget finds all of her success. She does almost all of them in the challenge tracker app. And, if we're going into this, not doing fluff, we're just going to do it, and we're going to put it in there, and we're going to set the expectation, and they're going to have to drink their shake. They're going to have to do their workout. They're going to have to check in if they want results. And that's our goal for them. Exactly. Is the results and everything. So, so I'm excited about that because I do not have a lot of people on HD right now. And I think it's because I haven't gotten them the results, the initial results, in order to make them stick with it. Whether it's the workouts or the shakes or whatever it is. But so I'm hoping that, we're going to stick with it. We're going to do 21-day fix in hopes that 21 days will get them, in and going. So that's where we're at. That's where I think that, that's where we're going to have some success.
2 questions. 1, what are you going to do to entice them to be involved? Like what's in it for them?
Well, the results. I have a lot of people who say they want the results, but then, they're all of a sudden falling off. And so then I've thought more about it. And some of them I have specific people already in mind that I'm going to go straight to and be like, okay, you've told me you want results. I am here for you. I'm only taking 10 people. I want to get you these results. And this is what you're going to have to do.
Okay. And 2 is what happens when they fall off.
Then they're out of the group. You're
just going to remove them from the tracker app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, no BSing. So,
right. Love.
Right. And I mean,
no mercy. She keeps saying no mercy.
I don't know. We're going to try it. We may flop and fall on our face, but I have a feeling we're not going to, because Julianne said that a few months back, weeks, whatever. But that people like to be told, I think it was her or Trina, maybe somebody, people like to be told what to do. And I'm not telling them what to do. And I think that's one of the bad things about BOD is that they have too many options. If we think back to when we got our DVDs, we got the DVD, we got the calendar, we got our shakes, and we knew what to do. We couldn't choose because we didn't have the options. Right. So, I think that I'm hoping that this will be something. I don't know.
And I think it really also goes back to like setting expectations.
Right.
Whether it's, like we're all going to do this. I mean, the people that we've got had the best results most recently are the people that are in a launch. Like they got into Lift 4 and got an incredible result, or they got behind the program that was before that and they got amazing results. Like it's when at those points when we're all doing it together, that we're all holding each other accountable, that it works. I also think setting expectations with a specific program for them, like really narrowing in what is it that you need, and this is the program that and then just really being very specific. This is the program that you need to follow. This is what you're going to do. This is where you find it, showing them in Beachbody On Demand where these things are at, like asking the questions, to know specifically what it is they need. Today I was talking to Beth and she was talking about all these different medical things that she's got going on. I was like, she couldn't do certain things on the floor. And I was like, well, have you tried this program? Have you tried this program? And I mentioned UV2. And she was like, oh, you'd mentioned that before. I did it for like 5 days and I can't stand that, man. I was like, okay, good to know. I was like, okay, here's a different one that you can try. But so it's just like really digging in and asking questions and figuring those things out and setting the expectations, right?
And and the other thing is too, Misty and I, even though we're like going slowly with a happy face on this one, only to you guys will say that, but we're doing 21-day fix. It's not our first choice, but at the same time, you said it earlier, we can't expect them to do things that we're not going to do ourselves. So that's why we said, okay, it was not my favorite program, but we know that the things are laid out for them. And so that's why we're going to do it. We're going to be there with them. We're going to go through it step by step, and it's 21 days. We can do it. It's only 21 days.
Anything for 21 days. We do
right.
anything for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Who else has something they're proud of? Nikki, what are you proud of? We haven't heard from you all night. One second.
I actually haven't been doing anything basically since August. So
okay. So what's something that you're going to get started with?
I am going to start working on my Instagram stuff. So like my posts every day and like friending people and just having conversations, being real.
531.
You told me before about an app called Planoly or something like that. I'm gonna check it out. I'm going to need her help. But yes, I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Amy Rada talked at Leadership. I can see if I can find the link. It might have gotten taken down, but she grew herself to diamond in a short amount of time. Her number was 50. She was like, I just pulled this number out and I said, 50 is what I'm going to do. There's 25 lines on a page and I did 2 columns. And she connected with 50 people every day and did the 5-3-1 method. So liked 5 pictures, commented 3 times, and followed them if there was somebody that she really liked. And then she kept track of all those names, and then she would go back and follow up. So she'd fill her page with connections, and then she'd do that for a couple of days, and then she'd go back a couple pages, and that became her invite list. So like she just literally had this notebook of like all these names on pages, and she would just continue to follow up. So she's got notebooks and notebooks of names of people from Instagram and Facebook and whatever. Yeah, and then the fortune is in the follow-up. So going back to that, today I sent, number 1 on Amber Snow's list is make a list of the all the points you would have if all the people you were talking to right now said yes. So that's a gut check in itself of make a list of the points you would have if all the people you're talking to right now said yes. So are you talking to 5 people? Okay, you have 10 points. Are you talking to 0 people? Okay, you have 0 points. Are you talking to 50 people? All right, there's 100 points. Now you belong on Danielle and Tony's team, right? Like, so think about that. And then message them all and schedule a time to connect with them. So, hey, Kara, you were interested in doing this before. We talked before about this. Do you have time before 4 o'clock that we can talk? Or, I'm going to send you some information. Can you review it by 3 o'clock and see, whatever? And they're either going to tell you, no, I can't, but they're also probably going to tell you when they can. So that was a big point from her today. And then, messaging all of your clients that you've ever had and seeing if they want to re-engage or being a part of something. And then how can I help you reach your goals? So like, again, kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, follow up with everyone that you've ever talked to. So today, I don't know about you, but Instagram stories for me, or not stories, but like messages for me just get like super lost. Like I feel like I can kind of find my way back from things in Facebook Messenger, but like they just get so so unorganized in Instagram messages. So today I went through and I started, I went all the way back. So like I just sat here and like thumbed through things while I was listening to Hattie talk about her day, which can take forever. But I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and it got all the way back to like 152 days or something ago. And I was like, that's a long time ago. But so then I just started writing their names down or started typing them. So I'm just going back through and saying, so like this veggie straws, probably not going to message that person, but Heidi Vaughn, yeah, I'm going to add her to my list. Jennifer Lee, going to add her to my list. Becky Sertz, I talk to her all the time. Candace Williams, probably not going to put her on my list, but like I can go back through here and go back through to all these people, and I'm writing them down now. So now these are people that I can go back and follow up. They're in my message list for a reason. Some of them have just been, hey, I've been meaning to message you. And some of them like way back in the, like early, like, I'm like, I love your page. And then I look at their profile picture and I'm like, how did I ever love their page? So obviously not writing that person's name down. But just kind of, it was when I was trying to cast my net to everybody and not my specifics. So, or thanks for the like. This isn't on. Thanks for the like. Are you interested in joining my team? February 14th, 2016. A lot has changed in a couple of years, right? So don't message people like that. Yeah. Questions. So I'm just going back and I'm going to start messaging people there. Today I went back to my tracker, my Diamond Daily thing, and I started looking for names of people that I'd written down, that I'd invited, like I either invited or that I added to my network. And I started typing their names into Facebook, because it's usually where that's at this point where I was mainly working. And then like I came up with like a Rachel, and she wasn't on my list anymore, in my friends list anymore, but there were 5 other Rachels that were there. So I invited them all to my next challenge group. And then, so like I have pages and pages of names here of people that I've invited today. If I can find my list on the back side of my list of notes from Amber, but of just people I've invited to a challenge group. And I'm just going back to, I'm inviting you to a challenge group, and I'm also going to, in the process, when you say yes, I'm going to invite you to coaching after that. So you want to upgrade to this other cool community. And again, I'm talking too much. Who else has something fun to share? Misty, what's something that's winning in your book? We're 15 minutes over. I probably should let you all go, but I'm going to make you talk first.
I don't really know, just being honest. I'm just surviving today. I made it through my day at work. That's a plus.
Hey,
without killing anybody.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be at work Thursday or Friday this week, so I made it to work, so that was good. But I was trying to make it a point of like posting on my page and going through different team pages and things like that, because I haven't been able to go through stuff. I just have not had the time to do any of that kind of stuff. And if I have, I'm just mindlessly doing things because I'm exhausted. But I made it a point to like go into the Happy and Fit page, the Team Rise and Fit page. I was commenting in Candace's group tonight, and just trying to get in like different places that I haven't really been super engaged in, just to kind of get that momentum back and just kind of getting back in the mode of like getting things done. So my goal is just to try to get like a plan together of something I can actually do every single day. So like you had mentioned, just focusing on 1 vital a day. So like that's the plan. I'm just gonna have to focus on that for right now, and hopefully in the next couple months things will just like not be so crazy. And that's what I have to deal with. So I'm just gonna have to take it as it comes and figure it out, because that's what I got to do. So
you're on this call tonight. You showed up every single day with your shake and your workout, and a lot of people wouldn't. So
yeah, that keeps me sane. So you want to see me do that every day. If I'm not doing that every day, then like somebody might die.
Then we need to worry.
Yeah.
If we do not see Missy show up on her stories or on her page, someone go to her house.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, ladies, it is 9:17. It's time for bed.